Jersey, stand the up. Okay, we are about to get into it. This is the Real Housewives of New Jersey recap and review for season 14, episode 8, Trouble in Tulum, y'all. Trouble in Tulum. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, what's going on? It is BarbMeetsWorld. We are back again to talk about this show or whatever. But before we get into that, y'all, please go on ahead, hit that like button. It helps me and my channel in terms of the algorithm. It helps me attract new subscribers such as yourself. So go ahead, hit that like button for your girl. Also, if you're not subscribed currently, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscription button and become a Barb's babe. Also, hit that notification bell so you know every single time I upload. And after this premieres, why don't you guys keep the conversation going in the comment section below? Because I would love to hear from each and every one of you. And last but certainly not least, share me with all of your people. Okay, let's get into it. So, y'all, this episode was good. The last two episodes have really been giving me some good feelings. They've been giving me good feelings. I've been enjoying it. I can't even lie. I can't even lie to you guys. It's been good. It's been good. And I just need to give kudos where kudos are due, y'all. Miss Danielle, I see you, girl. I see you. Last season, I didn't really see you too much, but this season, I see you. I see you. And that is because of what went down in the last couple of minutes of this episode. But before we get there, let's jump on into it. This episode begins with Teresa, Dolores, and Jennifer. They are having a sound bath session. I feel like that's like something that every single housewife show on Bravo has been doing lately. They're having a sound bath session. Of course, Dolores, though, wasn't very receptive to it because she just like, I got a lot of stuff going on in my mind. I'm too far gone for this. So it wasn't doing anything for me. It wasn't doing anything for me. This was obviously Teresa's idea. You know, she's Namaste Teresa or whatever. So this was her idea. I meant to look back on the episode. Apparently, Jennifer gave Dolores this crazy look when she first walked up in there. I missed it. If you guys didn't miss it though, drop down in them comments and let me know if that was the case. I heard that from another content creator. I didn't catch it. I'm gonna go ahead and look back at it though as soon as this video concludes though. So afterwards, they discuss some of the crystals in the room and everything. And Dolores reveals that her and Paulie are actually going to be starting a new business. And Jennifer's like, what? Oh my God, a new business? What? Huh? And Dolores says that she's going to be opening this eco-electric business with Paulie. We've heard about this already before. So I'm really not going to spend too much time on it because you already know, if you watch my reviews, you already know how I feel about their relationship, if you ask me. So yeah, but I'm just like thinking and anticipating that this is going to somehow segue on over to the whole marriage of it all. And it did. Befitting enough, Jennifer asks her about this delayed divorce of Paulie's, right? And Dolores really said out of her mouth, y'all, that he can't do more than he's doing. And marriage just isn't the biggest thing in her life right now. And I'm like, girl, but just last week, Dolores keeps flip-flopping. And shout outs to Erica De Niro, shout outs to the diva, because she actually made mention of this in her review, that Dolores presents herself as someone who she's a lot more modernized than she presents herself to be. So then she attracts certain people that think that she's more traditional, I guess, so to speak, and she's not. And we see that actually rear its ugly head a little bit more during this episode. But for now, I can definitely just say that she's giving flip flop. She's giving flip flop because on one hand, you seem to be putting his feet to the fire, but then on the other hand, it's you get in these situations like this and you act like it's not that big of a deal. So which one is it? Or is it for storyline? Is it for like what is it, Dolores? What is it? Because I'm getting sick of I'm not getting I'm beyond sick of talking about this. I really am. So and yeah, so I'm just not going to talk about it anymore. Moving on. Then they proceed with filling in Teresa about everything that went down at the housewarming party. Teresa does say that she wasn't surprised by Joe's actions. She says that that's, he's petty or whatever for how he handled the whole Blue Label bottle situation, gift situation. Because Teresa says that it was all Louis' idea, which that's not how she presented it from the get-go, but I definitely feel like I clocked what type of time she was on during the scene. She says that all the card said was, "Congratulations on your new home. Love, Louis and Teresa." It was just a gesture. It wasn't even an olive branch. And again, it was all Louis doing. And I just feel like she is saying that. I feel like looking back on it, she did it just to get them talking about her, just because she wasn't featured a lot in that episode. But she still wants to remain relevant, and she knew that that would get them talking about her. She knew that that was going to ruffle some feathers. I feel like she knew exactly what she was doing by it, and she's trying to make it seem like it was all Louis' idea, but I don't buy it. I don't buy it for 1 minute. Production then asks her why she sent the bottle again, and that's when she said that she didn't want to send it. She's trying to because she's not trying to make up with them, and I'm just like, that's just not where you were speaking from initially. It's not. It's really not. So then Dolores brings up how John also brought up their 15-minute conversation they had, 2 episodes ago, and how he brought up the whole Gia analogy. Teresa takes it upon herself to say, like, okay, he better, next time I see him, like, he better not have my daughter's name in his mouth. Like, he needs to stop that. And I'm just like, but you have everybody else, and say what you want to say about other things, other people. They're co-parenting, co-parent. Like, you just say a lot of stuff. And I feel like when the tables are turned, you want to cry victim, but you do the same exact things that you accuse other people of doing, Teresa. Just saying. Just saying. Anything else significant happen in this situation? Jennifer then takes time to talk about Danielle and how Danielle didn't put up Aydin plastic surgery on a step and repeat. I'm not even gonna say all of what I feel about that until later on in the episode. I'm gonna just give it to you guys exactly how it happened on the episode. I'm gonna recap this a little bit, and then I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. So, Dolores clocks it in the confessional. Jennifer just doesn't like Danielle, and it's not even about the step and repeat. Dolores also tells them about what all went down with Jackie. Jennifer says she can't defend that colorful language that Jackie used. How she called Dolores a slob. Jackie thinks she's better than both of them, according to Dolores, but she also needs their help to sell her books since they're the popular girls. Teresa then literally utters out of her mouth, "Who cares about Jackie? I just need her because I need Margaret exposed." And I'm just like, when I tell you that Teresa and Jennifer were spewing how they truly felt about Jackie during this moment and during this episode, they were literally telling us exactly what their true intentions are, what side they're on, what their motives are. They were giving us all that information this episode, y'all. Like, they really were. If you don't believe me, go ahead and watch the episode back and actually apply some logic. That's exactly what they were doing. Also, at the same time, we see Melissa over here. Melissa's over here. She just opened her new Envy location, which, shout outs to her. Glad to see it. Glad to hear it. She moved closer to her new house in Franklin Lakes. She wanted to be more hands-on. She didn't want the shop to be all the way over there, so she moved it closer. She says business has been booming. They've been there for almost a year now, which is good for her. And I just thought that was awesome because there are so many storefronts, so many brick and mortars that are closing their doors, that it's nice to know that she's been able to, prosper and continue growing her brand. I feel like obviously a lot of that has to do with the fact that she's on the show, but it still is something that I wanted to mention, because not too many people, not your average business sometimes won't see that same amount of success. I feel like I've never been to her shop. I've never seen what her clothing looks like, what her merchandise looks like, but she seems to have cracked the code. So good for her. Moving on. Danielle also stops by. They have the whole what's it called? Why can't I think of the word? I mean, they're in the same industry, obviously, but there's like a word I wanted to say, but I can't think of it right now. Can't think of it right now. So I'll let you guys know later. But anyway, it's been some years since her last fashion show. So it's time for a new fashion show now that her personal life has settled down. They're in the new house. Antonia's in school, so she can focus back on her business. So Danielle drops in along with models. They're coming in, and Melissa asks Danielle what she thought of the party. Of course, Danielle brings up the gift situation, how crazy that was. And she, of course, brings up how she sent a gift to her brother as well, because Melissa's like, wasn't that, crazy? Like, how do you feel about that? And I'm like, you can't ask Danielle, because Danielle has this interesting relationship with her family right now, too. And her answers are going to be geared towards how she feels about her own family situation, family dynamic right now. So I was just like, Melissa, that's the wrong person to ask. But nonetheless, they discuss a little bit more about the party, and Danielle says that, or Melissa, I should say, says how everyone was arguing, and Danielle's like, yeah, I know. Me and Jennifer even got into it, got heated for a second between us, and I feel like it's safe to say Danielle's not going to forget this one. She's super hurt, and even more so by the end of this episode, she's not going to forget anything. Trust me, she's not. She's definitely not. Melissa asked Danielle if she's been feeling it from Teresa as well. She didn't quite give a direct answer, if I can remember correctly, but since they are attached at the cooch, I'm sure she's been giving it some thought. And does she think that they're upset that she's cool with Melissa and Rachel now? That's also what Melissa goes on to say. And I'm like, that has everything to do with Melissa, your sister-in-law. So I don't feel like Melissa is being a mean girl in these moments by bringing certain things up, as much as she's just basing it on her own history with, her sister-in-law. It's just going to be different. So I don't even think that it's SHIT talking a lot of times, as much as it is just them calling her calling it a spade. And it'll be the same thing kind of on Teresa's side as well, where it's like, I don't always take what she's saying as ish. Well, no, actually, I take that back. I feel like when it comes from Teresa, it is mostly ish talking. I feel like a lot of people are always going on to say that, oh, look, they're always bringing Teresa up. They're always bringing Teresa up. But I feel like, honestly, it's more so they're always bringing up, I think it's the other way around, honestly. I feel like Melissa be doing her own thing or whatever. And at the same time, it's like if either of them brings the other one up, this is an ensemble cast. There is a lot of history there. They are actual family in real life. So I don't really get super offended when they do bring up the other person. Of course, I don't want to really hear about it because it's old news in my opinion, but it is still their life. So I understand why it is brought up. Um, Melissa didn't think it was a personal gesture, her sending the gift, as much as it was being done to be a spectacle. And that's exactly how Joe received it, I feel like, as well. Uh, I'm sorry. That's all I can really say about that. Because Teresa had already admitted that she had already shifted it to Louis being the one to do it. She was already changing her story. So, in my opinion, that indicates that you didn't have true intentions. It does. Mm, what else? I loved when Danielle said, as far as Jackie's concerned, she's either playing all of them or she's needing psychiatric help. I think it's a bit of both, honestly. I think she could benefit from both of those things. And the only issue is that she's trying to play them, but I feel like she's also getting played as well. And again, we saw that based on the fact that Teresa has already said 5 minutes into the episode that, like, who cares about Jackie? That means that she don't care about Jackie, which means that she's getting played because Jackie seems to think that they forged this stable, close friendship. And I've been saying it, a lot of us have been saying it, that Jackie's only playing herself as a fool and aligning herself with people that don't see it for her. Just saying. Just saying. They're using you as a chess piece, sweetheart. Using her as a chess piece. What else? Anything else? Danielle doesn't blame Marge for sending the screenshot. I'm like, I don't think you really should, but I do understand how that is being brought into question. And I just feel like Jackie's going to be out here looking for Teresa in the end, and Teresa's going to be standing there with a big old one of these. Jackie, congratulations. You played yourself, mama. You really did. Next up, we see Rachel and family. She's having a visit with Marge. They've grown very closer since the dynamic between her and Jen Fessler has changed. Marge brings her girls some gifts, which I thought was really cute. Juliana, by this time, has already had her tongue tie lip procedure. She's actually speaking a lot more clearly. She was actually speaking a lot more clearly the first day it happened, but they do stop to go in and do her aftercare and stuff like that. So we get some glimpses of all of that, but I think that's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. And I hope she's continued to progress as far as being able to now, communicate better and get around better. She's been walking on her own, Rachel says. But as far as Rachel goes, she has also she's been feeling really bad, as we found out a couple episodes before. She's been having a lot more pain as far as her arthritis. And Marge she can sympathize with this because she also went through a health scare with Joe. Apparently his PSA had jumped extremely high, and that made her freak out because a man at his age has an increased chance of getting diagnosed with prostate cancer. So she gets emotional. We also know that she hasn't ever really truly returned to being herself since Jan's passing by this point in time and filling. So I think it's just a lot of stuff being hurled her way, and she does get emotional in that moment. So it's good that they're able to be a source of comfort for one another. But of course we got to lay back into Jackie and how she's a psycho. And Marge even says how she went to Dolores, which is, if you didn't know, Dolores and Marge are way closer than Dolores and Jackie. And we could also see that based on this episode as well, too. So it's just like, girl, did you even think that through all the way? Probably not, right? Absolutely not. Rachel thinks it was too low. I don't feel like it was too low. I feel like it was just the amount of lowness that was needed in that situation to check a bitch. Just saying. Sometimes you got to check a bitch. And that was what Marge was doing, because Jackie would have continued to just flip this and continue to play in these people's faces, or at least in this case, Dolores's face. But I'm glad that Marge was able to shut that down. I'm sorry, you guys might think that's childish. I don't really care. Just saying. And Marge is like, yeah, if I really wanted to do some damage, I would have screenshotted everything she said over the past 6 years. And I'm like, at the same time, I can understand where it's like, okay, well, you weren't going to reveal this when you guys were still cool. And I was like, maybe it was just like one of those things where it's like you're friends with both people and you're just like, I'm just going to stay out of it. Like, y'all are always, you know, doing a lot. And maybe it's like one of those things where she knows that Jackie complains a lot and she just always be like going off the rails with stuff. So maybe she did it. Maybe she didn't think it was ever worth bringing up because it's just like another one of these Jackie moments of her just doing a lot. It's always a lot with Jackie. It really is. Moving on. Dolores and Paulie. I want Dolores to stop bringing Paulie on the show. He pisses me off pretty much every time we see him. So of course this episode wasn't going to be, or this scene wasn't going to be any different. They've been working out. They're working out with a trainer. He's lost some weight. They've gotten in better shape. And so then the trainer starts to compliment both of them on their progress. And she starts to tell him how she's been stronger. She's been trying to avoid surgery. And Paulie literally jumps in and say, you're not, and this is, I will say it exactly how he said it. You're not fucking doing surgery. Surgery is the disconnect from me. And you remember that. You take the surgery. I take the fucking road. Excuse me. Sir? Yeah. You right there? Who the fuck are you talking to? First of all, like, who are you talking to, one? And Dolores is always the first one talking about she from Patterson or this, that, and the other thing. And it's just like, it wasn't giving that because, first of all, who the fuck are you talking to? Second, whose body do you think you're policing? Last time I checked, you can't even get a goddamn divorce. So you're the last person that thinks that they have some claim over this body. And even when you do get a divorce, even if we were married, I wouldn't give any fucks. You're not going to tell me what to do about my body. And I'm saying that as a fully married woman sitting here. I wish. It'd be one thing if she was talking specifically about doing something maybe that is harmful, I guess, or whatever. But Dolores came in that relationship having been someone who's actively gotten plastic surgery. The first couple seasons, I want to say she was on here. We talked about it she had got a BBL. She had got this. She had got that. She's been doing a lot of stuff. So if you thought you were going to come in and dictate how she does what she wants to do as far as that, I would have let him know he's playing himself and he might as well hit the road his goddamn self. That's what I would have said. And in the confessional, she's bucking her chest talking about, you know, how all the men in her life want to tell her what to do with her body. And we get a flashback of David. And then she goes on to talk about how, unlike David, Paul has showed her a lot of commitment in a lot of ways. And I'm just like, Dolores can go. I'm sorry. Dolores can go because it's so cringy to watch. It's so irritating to watch and try to figure out. And I don't want to keep seeing this man because he be talking crazy and he would have. I can't even get the words out. That's how irritated he be making me. Moving on. I want to get to the good part. Teresa and family, they're getting ready for this Tulum party. And when I say Teresa wasted no time filling in Gia on what all drama has been going on between her and her friends. And you guys might get upset with me when I say this, but I don't care. I don't care. I really don't. Gia might be of age. She's 22 or whatever. She's grown. Some of you guys might say whatever. She's still not a part of these women's age group / friend group / she's still a child of one of the members in the friend group. So there's a separation there. Therefore, she should not be privy to this type of conversation. And I said that last week when they thought it was an okay thing to just speak about what's going on in the friend group in front of their children. This is why they are so involved, because Teresa keeps them involved. Teresa has no issue telling her kids stuff. And I feel like that's wrong, because the minute they come after, then at that point there's fair game. And if Marge comes after Gia, or somebody comes after Gia, then you would have your ass on your back. And I don't feel like that's fair, because you want to get in here and talk about the big dogs. You want to be a big dog? I'm gonna treat you like a big dog. That's exactly how I would frame it. She should not be in their business. And I'm going to keep saying that. I don't care how you guys feel. I don't care. She should not be so involved in what goes on with these ladies. Unless she's trying to try out for the Real Housewives of New Jersey Junior edition. I don't want to hear nothing that comes from anybody's kid's mouth. I don't care. Moving on. I'm gonna save that for a separate video. Basically, Teresa's saying that if Jackie remains friends with Marge, she's not going to be friends with her. I'll use the air quotes on that. Anyway, I will say Teresa did a good job with this party. She knows how to throw a party. She had a bongo playing guy there. She had a glitter giving girl, and as many delusions as one person can hold in their head. I will say that. Dolores, when she came in, she was telling the ladies about everything with Jackie and how she's always felt like Jackie was an elitist, and everyone isn't for everyone. And I feel like, see, these are moments where I like Dolores. No, everyone is not for everyone. I'm the first person to say that. 2, I do feel like you've always not really seen it for Jackie too much. I don't believe they've ever been that close. I do not believe that. But Jackie did herself a major disservice, I feel like, by crossing Dolores. And I'll get to that in just a few minutes as we wrap this up. Let somebody destroy themselves. I wrote that down because that is something that Dolores said, and I feel like she stays true to that phrase. I feel like we see that with a lot of other housewives and stuff like that too. But I like that approach. I like that approach to this type of show, especially when it can apply to people like Jackie, that in this situation have done just that. She self-sabotaged really bad, and it could have all been avoided had she not tried to befriend people that really are not your friends in exchange for someone who's proven multiple times that they were really down for you. Just saying, Jackie. And at that exact moment, I want to say Jackie had walked up, which goodbye. And when she comes up, Dolores disperses with Danielle, and so then I want to say it was 2 Jens, Teresa, Jackie. Yeah, Teresa and Jackie. And they go on, and somehow Marge's name is brought up. Because brought up by Jackie, of course, and she wants to make it seem like she felt so bad about about what went down with Dolores, and how Marge, also the bigger thing here is that Marge hurt Dolores. And I'm like, see, I know what you're trying to do there, and it's not even about that. That's a whole separate issue that I'm sure they'll probably talk about. I want them to address that. I'm not trying to keep this going because I think it's stupid, but at the same time, I want them to address it because I just think that's a fair thing. Yeah, if I was Dolores in a situation, I probably would go up to Marge and be like, well, like, why were you okay with sitting on that for so long if And is it too far-fetched for me to think that if this whole situation didn't come up, if Jackie didn't piss you off, that she would have never said those things, revealed that to me? I feel like that's a fair conversation for them to have, and I hope we see it this season. Teresa, almost on cue, starts fake coughing when Jackie says how she always thought Marge was a good person. And honestly, someone else who surprised me in the situation, y'all, Jen Fessler. Jen Fessler, she was on mute for a minute, but in her confessional, she's like, you guys do realize I'm standing here, right? And I'm friends with Marge. Like, I will say she got 2 of her loyalty points back in this situation. I will say that. I like how she's approaching it now versus someone like Jackie. Although I feel like, I mean, I still wouldn't have been friends with Teresa. I wouldn't even been there, but that's just me. I like how at least she's not going back on her word, and just allowing them to just dogpile and talk all these types of shit about her friend in front of her or whatever. It's like, if you want to talk shit, at least don't talk about it in front of me, because at the end of the day, this is still my girl. I can appreciate that enough. I can. So at this point, Jackie takes it upon herself to go on over to Dolores and ask her to have this conversation. And she's all like, Dolores, I'm sorry, but we were having a conversation with someone, and you look down and you see something like that. My stomach was turning. I didn't know what to say, Dolores. Like, you have to forgive me. And I loved it when Dolores was like, girl, I don't even know what to say to that, first of all. And furthermore, I think that sometimes friendships need a break, and so does this one. Dolores doesn't give a, and I would be right marching to that same tune, because you can't go ahead and you try to reduce the meaning of Slav down to something like that was silly or just like superficial, when you knew exactly what the fuck you were talking about when you called her Slav, Jackie. You know exactly how you felt about her, and luckily she don't really see it for you too much, so it's actually a good thing this happened, I guess. But much to your dismay, you'll find out later on, is that Dolores is the go-between in both groups, pretty much. She's Switzerland, and she is often someone who you could probably use, not, I don't mean use y'all, but use in situations to get back in the good graces on either side. But if you piss that person off, you can't take that avenue of approach, Jackie. Just saying. Everyone has vented about everyone. Shut up, girl. So then, y'all, this is when we get this final scene. Everyone's dancing. There's fire dancers. Everyone's partying. They're eating. They're having a good old time. And at first, it's Teresa and Danielle. They start off a conversation where Danielle is checking to make sure they're still good, because apparently we need to keep doing this in that group. We need to keep making sure we're good with everybody at all times, because people like these are asses on their backs for whatever reason they see fit, because it's a Tuesday. Who knows? So she's like, yeah, we're good, but I feel like you have people in your head like Marge and Melissa. And I'm just like, see, no matter what, again, Teresa will always find it in her to bring up, I feel like, those other 2 ladies who are not even present, or to ensure that the people that she's collecting are still are still holding their allegiance to her. I feel like that's why she needs to bring them up so much. And I'm just like, Danielle, she's literally telling you what her true focus is within y'all's friendship, because she quickly, if somebody can bring up other individuals so quickly after answering a question like that, then that's really truly what they wanted to focus on that entire time when they were answering that question or whatever. That has something to do with where their true intentions lie. You can't tell me differently. But she starts to speak in code like she always does. Danielle tries to reassure her that, you know, what she's up, the other ladies, they're not even talking about her or anything like that. Although she is closer with Teresa and Jennifer, that Melissa and Marge, they know that, like, everything is cool. And I feel like that's true, that they don't really pressure her to be like, oh, you need to be on our side, or you need to be like, well, especially Melissa. I feel like Melissa is just like, okay, whatever. Like, I really don't ever feel like she's trying to collect people or whatever. She's just doing what Dolores said and letting people destroy themselves, I guess. Right? Danielle's main thing is, like, as far as Jennifer, you're saying that I literally stole from a charity. Like, that's not no little accusation. That can really make me look crazy out here. And I don't appreciate that. And I want to say this is when Jennifer walks up, and I'm just like, oh goodness, oh gosh, it's about to go left. It's about to go left. And Danielle wants to know why Jennifer said those things, right? And I think I wrote it down. Oh yeah, Jennifer goes on to say she didn't like how Danielle belittled Lena and why she doesn't consider other people's feelings. Y'all, I'm gonna just tell you right now, Jennifer just doesn't like Danielle because she just doesn't like Danielle. And if she needed to find a reason, she was going to continue to find reasons. Oh, I don't like you because you have orange on your toenails. Oh, I don't like you because your name starts with a D. Oh, I don't like you because you're 5'6". Like, she was going to find all of these reasons why she didn't like this girl, and that was presented in this episode, if you guys didn't know before. Danielle, on the other hand, she's sticking by the fact that everything went back into the event. And when you have an event, all the profits made off of said event goes to paying the bills and paying the vendors and the people that work the event. She broke it down. I'm like, that kind of does make sense or whatever. I've never done any charity events, but a lot of people in the comments, a lot of people in their tweets and stuff like that have, like, corroborated, like, that's exactly how that works or whatever. So if y'all are familiar with charities, if y'all want to weigh in on whether or not that is accurate, don't be shy. Let me know in those comments. Let's talk about it. But Danielle she's sticking to her story, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Jennifer denied being a multimillionaire in this conversation, which I thought was completely bogus. I don't care what you say. Just before bringing it back to the step and repeat. Like, I'm sorry, but there's a difference between Aydin Plastic Surgery being a huge donor, whatever, towards the charity versus you being the wife of said plastic surgery doctor, whatever, plastic surgeon. There's a difference between you saying that you what? That doesn't even have anything to, last time I checked, that doesn't even have anything to do with you. That's not even like, yes, that's y'all's business or whatever. That's his business. Like, Danielle, you were there. You weren't even there in that capacity, in that role. You were there in your Housewives role to be a popular face as far as a housewife. So why you tried to make those two pieces match up is beyond me. And I'm really glad that Danielle was clocking it and she was able to see you for who you are. You're dirty. You're dirty is what she said. And then Jennifer takes it upon herself to reveal another bone that she has with Danielle. And so according to Jennifer, Danielle's hairstylist, which is Marissa, she also does Dolores' hair on occasion. She was supposed to be a part of this masterclass, a model for her masterclass or whatever. And what turned her off about this is when Danielle made it seem like she wanted to make money off of her friend. And Danielle was like, whoop, nope, we're not about to do that. We are not about to do that. That's not at all how it went down. Danielle is pissed. And she's like, you are a piece of, because that didn't even happen like that. My friend slash hairstylist wanted to have us all there to be models for her new hairline she was launching. I thought I would give you the heads up because I know that sometimes stylists can feel some type of way if they see you, campaigning or, on some type of marketing materials for another stylist that might ruffle some feathers over there. So it was done in complete transparency. It was done in complete, there was no malice behind that. I was just giving you a heads up, girl. Like, hey, don't want this to be an issue for you later on. So FYI, this is what it's all about. I feel like that makes so much freaking sense. And this is why, again, I say Jennifer was just hell-bent on not liking Danielle. She was hell-bent on finding a reason to not like this lady, to bring up anything she could to show that she didn't like her. And I feel like she hasn't liked her since day one, season 13. I feel like she did not like her by how she set her up last year with bringing that Melissa making out rumor to the forefront. Jennifer's never liked her. Jennifer is only loyal to Teresa. Unfortunately, Teresa really isn't loyal to her. I don't think back either, but I digress. And Jennifer's popping her like she always does, talking about that Danielle dogged her girl. And mind you, like they're moving closer and closer and closer. Teresa's back here, right? Teresa's back here on the other side. And when I tell you, I saw over like Jennifer's head that she backed her up so much to the point. Nate, Danielle's husband, he's peeping this too. Bill's inside eating, doing whatever he's doing. Everybody's kind of like hearing them scream and stuff like that. But Teresa was the only other person right there. And if I was Teresa and I really didn't want to go down my house, I would have stood in between them two, because they were going back and forth for a cute minute, y'all. They were going back and forth a cute minute. Jennifer starts to back her up, which I feel like was very calculated of her. And before we know it, y'all, Jennifer literally pushes Danielle, and based on sheer reflex, Danielle picks up her cup and throws it on Jennifer, which I have no issues with. If I was Danielle, I can't even tell you guys what I would have did, because I don't want you guys looking at me crazy and thinking that I am over here being somebody's hired assassin or something like that, because I totally am not. But I will be 100% with y'all. I am somebody who is always going to defend myself. And in this situation, if Jennifer thought she was going to put her motherfucking hands on me, bitch, she would have had another thing coming from her. And I feel like Danielle backing up too was representative of the fact that she was ready to get on and popping. I feel like Jennifer be popping shit and she be trying to get things started, but she needs to get her okay, I'm gonna just leave it there. I would just leave it there. I'm not even gonna say what I'm thinking. But in that moment, I feel like this is another time that Jennifer has did too much. She did way too much. She's done this with Melissa before in the past. If y'all don't believe me, go ahead, watch a previous season. She's done this. This is very on brand for Jennifer. And so, of course, they're split up at that point. Danielle's going off. Nate even is like, Jennifer, that's messed up. You guys are supposed to be friends. Like, that's not cool. He collects her up. They walk through the house, obviously, to get to the front or whatever. And Bill's in there eating. Mind you, there's a whole commotion. Like, Bill's in there eating. Danielle's like, yeah, your wife is a bitch. And when you lay down with her, you're laying down with the devil. Like, bitch. Like saying all types of stuff, right? Jennifer's also crazy. Did you guys peep when she was like, oh, yeah, it tastes good, about the alcohol or whatever? Like, crazy. I knew she had crazy eyes since the first day I met her. Anyway, on our screens. Met her on our screens, y'all. I have not met this lady in real life. I do not know any of these people in real life. I'm just saying. Crazy. When I tell you Bill took his time getting up and going outside, y'all, because even after she said that, I still feel like he took a minute. There was no sense of urgency, and I just feel like he ain't got it to do with his wife. I really feel like he does. I'm not going to say he's like ready to divorce her or nothing like that, but I just don't. They don't have a through and through happy marriage, if you ask me. They don't. And some people's theory is that Jennifer goes after, or she has bones to pick with people that she's envious of or whatever. Y'all let me know if you guys believe that theory in the comments below. Because Danielle, even in this scene, goes on to say, I am to her everything she could never be. And I've been mulling over that the last couple days, and I could kind of see where she gets that from. But I feel like Jennifer, she has some deep-rooted issues, because there's no reason why you should be thinking it's okay to put your hands on somebody and not think that your ass isn't going to get popped. Because Danielle is a better woman than I could ever be, because I would have ragtagged that ass and not let you go. They would have had to use the jaws of life to pry me up off your ass. I'm just saying. Anyway, though, y'all, that's my recap and review. This was crazy. I heard that they both got suspended after that. If you guys know if there's any truth behind that, let me know in the comments. Let me know everything, because child, oof, it was going down. Y'all, don't forget to like the video. I'm going to play my like the video before I play my outro, but I enjoyed giving you guys my commentary on season 14, episode 8 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'm about to go watch The Real Housewives of Dubai now, so I can come back to you guys with my girl, California Cutie, tomorrow on our Crystal Creeks panel. If you guys are interested in that, make sure you turn your post notifications on so I can catch you guys there. But yeah, don't forget to like the video, and yeah, let's keep the conversation going down in the comments below. Bye.